The sound hits first, a tiny metallic click, like a camera shutter coming from inside the phone even though nothing is recording. Mira freezes, staring at the screen as the TikTok video glitches into a smear of static. For a second, the creator's face folds into a shape that shouldn't exist. A looping mark burned into the pixels like an eye trapped inside a broken circle. Her thumb hovers over the screen, but the symbol pulses as if reacting to her hesitation. She scrolls, hoping it's just a glitch, but every new video hides the same mark in corners, reflections, shadows. What if your reflection kept recording after you left? She tries to breathe, but her lungs feel tight, as though the symbol is learning her rhythm and syncing to it. She hears faint footsteps behind her, even though she's alone. When Mira blinks, the symbol flickers, and now it's closer. Mira keeps replaying the same video, hoping the symbol will vanish if she stares long enough. Instead, it grows clearer, as if sharpening itself just for her. The creator in the clip laughs normally, but Mira can't hear anything except that faint metallic click again, like a shutter hidden inside the sound. She feels pressure in her temples, a soft throb matching the rhythm of the glitch. When she messages Theo, her screen freezes on its own. The cursor drags slowly across her keyboard, as if something is typing for her. She yanks her hands away. A thought rises in her mind, uninvited and cold. Would you finish a challenge if it meant deleting yourself? She closes her laptop, but the symbol still lingers in her vision like an afterimage burned into her eyes. It feels like the longer she looks, the more it learns. Theo arrives at Mira's apartment after she sends a shaky voice note. He steps inside expecting panic, but the quiet hits harder than any scream. Mira sits on the floor, staring at the blank TV as though it's still showing her something. She tells him the symbol won't stop appearing even when she closes her eyes, the edges flickering like it's trying to crawl into her thoughts. Theo tries to reassure her, yet he notices his own phone warming in his pocket, almost buzzing with a heartbeat-like tremor. When he pulls it out, the TikTok app opens by itself and a random video loads. A cooking tutorial, harmless at first. But as he watches, the reflection of a spoon on screen ripples into the symbol again. He turns to Mira, but she's already watching him, whispering that it's following them both. Now, Theo and Mira call Rin, hoping someone who hunts glitches for fun might finally explain what's happening. Rin listens quietly, but their silence feels heavier than any answer. They've already seen the symbol in places they can't rationalize, inside frozen pixels, behind stretched motion blur, woven into the audio like a whisper riding along the waveform. Rin shares their screen, showing slowed frames from different creators across different countries, none of whom know each other. Yet, at the same exact timestamp, the symbol flickers once. Mira feels her stomach drop. It means coordination, intent. Patterns don't sync themselves across strangers. Rin pauses the video on the symbol, and the screen flickers once, then twice, almost like a response. Hours pass, but the symbol stays frozen on Rin's screen like it's waiting. Mira tries to ignore the growing pressure in her skull, but every blink brings a flicker of that looping eye. Theo suggests disconnecting from the internet, yet his voice breaks with uncertainty. Rin decides to dig deeper, isolating audio beneath the videos. As they enhance the sound, a thin, breathy whisper emerges. A voice too faint to understand, too close to feel safe. Mira's hands shake as the whisper begins, forming a rhythm that matches her heartbeat. The symbol reappears on Theo's phone, even though it's turned off. Fear crawls up Mira's spine. Something is crossing the boundary between screen and viewer. And whatever it is, it's getting clear. Rin keeps replaying the synth timestamps, their voice growing quieter. Each time the symbol flickers in perfect rhythm across unrelated videos. Mira feels something tighten inside her chest as she realizes none of them had checked the comments yet. When she scrolls, she finds hundreds of users writing the same thing. It blinked. The words repeat like a chant across videos that have nothing in common. Theo insists it's just a trend, but Mira notices the phrasing never changes, not even punctuation. The repetition feels mechanical, almost rehearsed. Rin scrubs through a fitness clip, and the symbol flashes at exactly 13 seconds, then again in a dog video at the same timestamp. Mira whispers that patterns don't spread unless something pushes them. Well, but Theo's phone vibrates before she can say more, and when he looks down, the notification reads, 13 seconds left. Don't look away. Theo insists they should stop watching the videos altogether, but Mira can't look away. The symbol doesn't behave like a glitch anymore. It behaves like a signal, appearing with purpose, rhythm, timing. Rin notices something new. Each symbol has a faint distortion trail that bends towards specific usernames on the screen, as if the symbol is tagging people. Mira feels heat rising behind her eyes, almost like the strain of staring at a bright screen for too long. But she isn't looking at anything bright. When she closes her eyes, the symbol phases into view anyway, pulsing softly in the darkness. Theo asks if anyone else feels a pressure behind their thoughts, but Mira lies and says no. She doesn't want to admit the truth forming in her mind. The symbol isn't following the videos anymore. It's following them. Mira scrolls through reports from strangers claiming headaches, visions, and déjà vu after seeing the symbol. Some say it whispered to them. Others claim they saw versions of themselves lagging in reflections, just for a blink. Theo brushes it off as hysteria. People freak out easily when something goes viral, but Rin notices something different. An audio spike hidden under the symbol's flicker, repeating every 13 seconds. They isolate it and play it back. It sounds like breathing. Slow, deliberate, too close. Mira's stomach twists as the breathing aligns perfectly with her own inhales. Theo looks at her sharply, asking if she's okay, but she can't answer. Because when Rin slows the audio further, the breathing breaks into a faint word. A word that sounds like someone whispering her name. The trio decides to test the pattern. Rin plays 5 unrelated TikTok videos back to back, each chosen randomly. The symbol appears in all of them. Never in the same place, never the same size, but always on the 13-second mark. Mira notices something worse. The symbol seems clearer every time they play it, as though feeding on attention. Theo backs away, saying they're letting it into their minds, but Mira's thoughts are already slipping. She keeps checking the corners of her vision, half expecting to see it floating there. Rin rewinds a makeup tutorial, slowing it frame by frame. The symbol expands for a split second, like it's responding to being observed. Mira whispers that maybe they're not meant to watch it slow. Maybe slowing it forces it to look back. Night falls, but none of them can sleep. Mira feels the symbol pulsing faintly behind her eyelids every time she blinks. Rin continues analyzing clips, while Theo watches the door like something might step through it. When Rin discovers older videos, years old, that now contain the symbol even though they were clean before, the air in the room shifts. Theo swears he feels someone standing behind him. Mira checks the window's reflection and sees nothing, yet her reflection seems to linger a fraction longer than it should. The symbol isn't spreading anymore. It's embedding itself. Mira whispers the question none of them want to hear out loud. What if the symbol didn't enter the videos? What if the videos were just the door it used to find them? Theo tries to convince everyone that they're spiraling, that the symbol is just a mass hallucination fueled by fear. But Mira can't unsee what happened in the reflection earlier. Her reflection lagged, not by a glitchy fraction of a second, by a deliberate pause, like it was thinking before moving. Rin scrolls through more videos, but the glitches now feel directed. They're not random distortions, they're patterns bending toward them. While Theo paces, Mira notices his phone screen lighting on its own. A recording indicator appears, even though the camera app isn't open. A faint silhouette reflects on the black screen. Someone standing behind Theo who isn't there. Rin freezes the frame and zooms in. The silhouette isn't human. It has the shape of the symbol stretched vertically like a watching figure. And for a moment, Mira swears it moves. Theo storms toward the window to prove nothing is happening, but Mira sees it before he does. The symbol faintly etched into the glass, thin as a scratch yet sharp enough to catch moonlight. Theo insists someone could have carved it, but Mira notices something wrong. The scratch isn't on the surface. It's inside the glass like it grew there. Rin suggests checking the video metadata again, and when they scan older clips, every timestamp where the symbol appears shows corrupted code, spelling the same phrase over and over. It sees you. Mira feels cold pressure down her spine, the kind that comes before a nightmare breaks open. Theo reaches toward the window scratch, but his hand twitches before touching it, as if something inside the glass twitched back. Rin isolates audio from the corrupted videos again, slowing it further than before. The whisper that once sounded like breathing now bends into fractured syllables. Mira swears she hears her own name repeated in reverse. Theo tells everyone to stop listening, but it's too late. The sound changes them. Mira feels her pulse matching the rhythm of the whisper, sensing like two overlapping heartbeats. Rin turns the volume down, yet the whisper continues as if coming from the room itself. Theo covers his ears, but the sound leaks through like it's inside his skull. Mira asks the question no one wants to consider. What if the whisper isn't sound at all? What if it's thought? The moment she speaks, the whisper stops. And then, slowly, it laughs. The whisper's laugh fades, but the air feels heavier. Mira goes to the bathroom to splash water on her face, needing something real to hold on to. But when she looks into the mirror, her reflection doesn't look back. It's facing slightly to the side, as if observing something over her shoulder. Mira freezes. She doesn't breathe. Her reflection slowly turns its head toward her after a delayed pause, eyes widening with an emotion she isn't feeling. She backs away, calling for Theo and Rin. When they rush in, the reflection returns to normal, but Mira knows what she saw. Theo suggests leaving the apartment, but the lights flicker, and the symbol appears fogged onto the mirror surface. Mira wipes it, but it reappears instantly, sharper than before. The group gathers their things, determined to leave the apartment, but the symbol appears everywhere now. Reflections in unplugged screens, shadows on the floor, static in the corner of their eyes. Theo tries opening the door, but the hallway lights flicker violently, plunging everything into pulsing darkness. Mira hears the whisper again, not in her ears, but inside her thoughts, nudging her toward the living room. Rin picks up their phone, noticing the camera has begun recording on its own. Theo demands they shut everything off, but every device powers on simultaneously, screens glowing with the symbol. Mira feels drawn toward the center of the room, as if something is calling her. She doesn't know why, but she steps forward anyway. And the symbol pulses once, like a heartbeat answering her. Rin finally pieces together something no one wants to believe. The symbol changes shape depending on who watches it. They pull up recordings side by side and Mira sees it. Subtle shifts in the loops, bends in the lines like the symbol is adjusting itself for each viewer. Theo refuses to accept the idea, insisting symbols don't adapt, but Rin shows him a frame-by-frame breakdown. With every new viewer, the symbol reforms, almost studying them. Mira feels sick as she realizes each version they've seen looks slightly different because it's been learning from them. The whisper returns, faint but clearer now, almost like it's forming a countdown. 13 beats, 13 breaths, 13 warnings. Mira feels a question form behind her thoughts, one not her own. How many times can something reshape itself before it becomes real? Rin digs deeper, pulling up claims from users who believe the symbol is a map. Most comments sound unhinged, but a few describe the same thing, the symbol drifting or loosening its loops, depending on the viewer's location. Theo laughs at the idea, but when Rin overlays symbols from videos filmed in different cities, Mira sees the truth. The loops shift to form pathways, curved lines aligning like streets. The center of the pattern glows faintly whenever the timestamp hits 13 seconds, pointing toward a single location they've never seen before. Mira feels her pulse jump. The symbol isn't spreading randomly. It's guiding viewers somewhere. But the real horror comes when Rin zooms out further. The map's center isn't a place on any city grid. It's the shape of a door. The deeper they zoom, the stranger the symbols become. In one video, the looping eye stretches into a narrow vertical slit. In another, it widens into a warped archway. Mira tries to steady her breathing, but every frame feels like something is peering back at her. Theo suggests the map theory can't be real, but Rin finds older recordings, clips posted before the platform even existed, where the symbol appears faintly in distortions, pointing to the same door shape. Mira touches the screen, tracing the arch. For a moment, her fingers feel cold, as if the glass is hollow. She jerks her hand back. Something about the symbol feels too close, too aware. If the symbol is a door, then doors lead somewhere. And doors don't stay closed forever. Rin tries to stabilize the symbol by freezing several frames at once, but something impossible happens. The symbol moves, not within the videos, across them. It drifts from one paused frame to another, like it's sliding between screens. Mira feels her stomach clench as the symbol stretches and contracts, as if testing the limits of its shape. Theo steps back, insisting they disconnect everything, but Rin refuses. They need to understand what it wants. Then the whisper returns, but this time it's louder, traveling through the speakers even though the volume is muted. The room vibrates with a low hum, like a pulse-building pressure. Mira feels the whisper forming words again, but the meaning stays just out of reach. The symbol flickers once, then locks onto her. The symbol stops drifting and begins widening, its outer loop stretching like someone pulling it open from the inside. Mira feels drawn to it, like the whisper is tugging at her thoughts. Theo pulls her back, but his hands tremble as he watches the symbol expand beyond its video frame, spilling past the screen's edges. Rin tries shutting everything down, but the devices stay on, humming louder with every second. The symbol pulses at a slow, steady rhythm, like a heartbeat. Mira realizes it isn't opening for them. It's opening because of them. Their attention, their fear, their repeated watching. The whisper grows into a phrase she finally understands. Come through. And with a final pulse, the symbol forms a perfect doorway shape, waiting. Rin pulls the plug on every device, but the screens stay on. It's as if the symbol has become the power source itself. Theo keeps his back pressed against the door, refusing to let anything inside, though none of them can explain what inside means anymore. Mira stares at the widening doorway on the monitor, feeling like something on the other side is breathing in sync with her. As they argue, Rin finds a horrifying discovery buried in old archives, videos posted before their creators were even born. The symbol appears in every single one, faint but present, as if it had always been there, waiting for the moment people could finally see it. Mira can't shake the feeling that the symbol didn't spread at all. It simply revealed itself when enough eyes were watching. Theo pulls away from the door when he realizes his phone is recording again, even though it's turned off. The screen flickers with static, then displays a live feed of the room, but not in real time. The feed lags by 2 seconds, showing Mira standing still while the real Mira moves, showing Rin typing before their fingers actually touch the keys. It's like the phone is predicting their actions instead of capturing them. Mira's chest tightens as she watches her delayed self lift, a hand she hasn't yet raised. Theo drops the phone, but it continues streaming, the reflections inside the feed rippling as though something beneath the surface is pushing outward. The symbol flickers inside the predicted frame, hovering near Mira's delayed self, waiting. Rin digs deeper into the feed, slowing the recording until it barely moves. That's when they see it. A figure standing in the doorway frame of the symbol, blurred but present, like something pressing its face against the edge of reality. Mira feels her heartbeat stutter as she notices the figure's outline mimics the symbol itself, its shape bending into a watching eye. Theo demands they stop the playback, but Rin can't. The figure moves closer with every frame, as if recognizing that it's being observed. The whisper grows louder now, pushing into the spaces between their thoughts. Mira grabs Rin's wrist, begging them to turn it off, but the feed freezes on one final frame. The figure pressing its hand toward the viewer, and its fingers bend like loops of the symbol. Then something impossible occurs. The symbol begins appearing not just on screens, but on their bodies, flickering faintly across skin, pulsing like veins. Mira sees it first on the back of her hand, a small glowing loop that contracts when she breathes. She wipes at it desperately, but the symbol only grows sharper. Theo finds one on his neck, matching the pulse under his skin. Rin discovers dozens reflected in their eyes, tiny shifting loops, swirling like constellations. Panic floods the room as the markings grow brighter, syncing with the hum from the screens. The symbol isn't trying to lure them anymore. It's marking them, tethering their minds to whatever waits on the other side. It's no longer a door. It's an anchor. As the symbols burn brighter, the doorway on the screen begins to widen again, stretching like fabric pulled too thin. Mira feels herself swaying toward it, as if gravity is shifting. Theo grabs her, but even he slips forward a few inches, dragged by something unseen. Rin screams that the symbol's shape matches the frequencies of their brainwaves. It's sensing with them, connecting, consuming. The screens shake, lights flicker, and the whisper swells into a single distorted command. Enter. Mira claws at the floor, refusing to be pulled in, but the room collapses into a swirl of static and shadows, and the last thing she sees is her own reflection inside the doorway, moving independently, smiling as she isn't. And then everything cuts to black. Mira wakes to silence, not the kind that feels peaceful, but the heavy kind that presses down like weight on her chest. She doesn't know how long she's been unconscious, only that the apartment feels wrong. The lights are on, but everything looks drained of color, thinned out like bleached paper. Theo stands nearby, breathing hard, staring at his arm where the symbol faintly glows beneath his skin. Rin sits against the wall, eyes wide and unfocused, whispering that they saw something inside the blackness. A place made of loops and shadows, where time folds in on itself. Mira tries to ground herself, but the whisper lingers in her mind, repeating fragments she can't quite understand. When her vision settles, she realizes the doorway on the screen is gone. But the room still feels occupied. Rin finally speaks, voice trembling as they explain what they saw when everything went dark. A space without walls or direction, made of twisting lines that pulsed like veins. Something watched them from the center, a presence shaped like the symbol yet shifting as if made of thought instead of matter. Mira feels a chill crawl down her spine as Theo insists they need to leave, to get outside, to find something normal. But Mira glances at the blank screens and realizes that even without the doorway, the symbol is still here. It's in their bodies, their reflections, their thoughts. Rin warns that the presence wasn't trying to drag them through. It was trying to merge with them. Mira hears the whisper again, not with her ears, but somewhere behind her heartbeat. You open the door. Theo opens the front door, determined to get them out. But the hallway outside looks wrong. The walls seem flatter, the angles slightly off, as if the space were a replica built from memory rather than reality. Mira steps toward it, feeling the air ripple faintly as she crosses the threshold. There are no sounds, no humming lights, no distant footsteps, not even the muffled life of neighbors. It's as if the building is holding its breath. Rin warns them not to go further, insisting the doorway didn't close. It moved. Mira realizes the symbol might not need screens anymore. It's shaping reality directly, bending it into patterns that mirror its looping form. Theo tests the hallway floor with his foot, and the ground ripples beneath him like stretched fabric. Theo pulls his foot back as the hallway bends inward, folding like a crease in paper. Mira slams the door shut, her heartbeat syncing again with a rhythm she doesn't want to acknowledge. Rin insists the presence is still watching, waiting for them to open another figurative door. Mira glances at the mirror across the room and freezes. Her reflection stands perfectly still, even as she walks toward it. No delay, no flicker, just a staring version of herself that doesn't blink. Slowly, that reflection lifts a hand. Mira's real hand stays at her side. The gesture feels deliberate, almost beckoning. Theo rushes to pull her away, but the reflection's palm presses against the glass, and the symbol blooms across the surface like frost patterns. Parts of Mira's reflection begin to distort into loops. The reflection begins to dissolve, its edges unwinding into faint, glowing loops that spiral outward like strands of unraveling code. Mira feels something tug inside her chest. A pull not from the mirror but from within herself. The whisper grows louder, threading through her thoughts with unnerving clarity. It doesn't sound threatening anymore. It sounds familiar. Theo tries to shield her, but the loops wrap around the mirror's frame, bending the room's shape as if reality were soft clay. Rin shouts that the presence isn't trying to replace them, it's trying to merge. The mirror warps, forming a narrow opening shaped like the earliest version of the symbol. Mira feels her pulse sync with its glow. She steps forward without meaning to. The whisper finally speaks clearly. One more door. The mirror doorway pulses softly, almost breathing. Mira feels the pull in her chest growing stronger, sensing with the loops spiraling inside the glass. Theo refuses to let her go, gripping her arm with a shaking hand, insisting the symbol doesn't want to merge. It wants to erase them, but Mira feels something else beneath the fear. A strange familiarity, like recognizing a voice she hasn't heard since childhood. Rin warns them both that the loops are stabilizing, forming a permanent shape instead of flickering like before. That means the presence has chosen someone. Mira stares at the glowing arch and feels herself drifting closer without moving her feet. The whisper returns, soft and coaxing, almost gentle. It feels like it already knows her answer, and that terrifies her more than anything. Rin studies the loops twisting through the doorway, their voice shaking as they explain that the symbol's final form is not a door in the literal sense. It's a filter. Something on the other side wants to remove parts of them, rewriting what doesn't fit its pattern. Mira feels the whisper sliding through her mind like a thread pulling at loose fabric. Theo begs her to look away, but the doorway brightens, filling the room with a soft hum that feels like it's vibrating inside her bones. Rin pulls up an old recording showing the symbol, collapsing, recombining, looping endless. Mira realizes it's been preparing them, grooming their minds to match its frequency. The presence isn't just calling to her, it's selecting her. And the terrifying part is that she can feel why. The room trembles as the symbol expands, its loops widening until they reach the ceiling. Mira staggers backward, but the pull stays strong, like the doorway has tied an invisible thread around her. Theo shouts her name, but his voice echoes strangely, stretched and slightly delayed. Rin shouts that the presence is using their reflections to anchor itself. Mira glances at the black TV screen and sees her reflection smiling again, the same unnatural smile from before. It opens its mouth as if speaking, but no sound comes out, only the whisper filling Mira's mind. The reflection raises a hand, and Mira feels her own hand rise against her will. The loop glows brighter. The The choice is no longer whether she steps through. The choice is whether she goes willing. The whisper sharpens into full clarity, speaking directly into Mira's thoughts, not in words she recognizes, but in meanings she somehow understands. It tells her she has already crossed more than once, that every time she watched a video with the symbol, she opened another step of the door. Rin tries shutting down the screens, but the symbols burn through them like etchings on glass. Theo calls her name over and over, but his voice feels softer, fading like background noise. Mira feels the world thinning, the walls flattening like layers of a fading memory. Her reflection steps out of sync again. This time it doesn't lag, it moves first. Slowly, it leans toward the doorway. Mira feels the pull intensify. The presence isn't asking anymore. It's summoning. Mira steps toward the doorway, not because she wants to, but because the world behind her is fading, peeling away like thin paper. Theo tries to follow, but the loops lash out like strands of light, holding him back without touching him. Rin calls her name, but Mira barely hears it over the whisper that now feels like her own voice. As she stands at the threshold, the presence pulses once, recognizing her. The doorway brightens, casting her silhouette against the collapsing room. She turns back, eyes hollow with understanding, and asks the question the whisper planted inside her. One meant not for Theo or Rin, but for whoever is watching through the screens that still record everything. Her voice trembles, yet feels too calm to be her own. If something watched you through every screen you touched, would you still keep scrolling?